The outcome on Saturday is not what we expected and is not acceptable. And we this week we're going to take our time. We started on yesterday and just evaluate everything with this program and just start all over again. As coaches, we know we have to coach better, and as players, we know we have to play a lot better. And it's almost you want to restart the season and push that button. And we went back to work last night and had the players out on Sundays. And what we do is Sundays we go back out and just do a small focus on Rice, but we go back to the game on Saturday, and it's all about corrections and take our time with plays that didn't work and how we can get better and how we can improve. And the thing you know, this is a program that's built on a lot of tradition and pride, and there's no quit in this football team. There won't ever be any quit in this program. And so it's all about us getting ready for Rice, knowing that Rice is an outstanding program. You look at what Coach has done, 3 bowl games there. The first time in school history that has happened. But we have many issues that we got to get corrected. You know, starting on the offensive side of the football, it's all about just moving the football. It's about getting first downs, and first downs will lead to scores. And on defense, we know that we cannot give up the big play on defense. And that what was hurt us. You know, you get the game back to 17-3, you have the ball pinned down on the 10-yard line. Then we let them out, and they end up throwing a big pass play on us. I have to do a better job as a head football coach, knowing I need to be just totally involved. I am involved in the offense, and you know, when it comes down to third down, I tell them whether we run or pass, and even with the 2-minute situation. But on defense, it's I do call some of the plays on defense, not many at all. Let Vance handle that, and even involved with the kicking game. But we just had to make sure that we evaluate it as our coaching staff, you know, on the offensive side, defensive side, and we got to get better, because that's not who we are. The other night is not who we are. That's not what we're about. And I know this, we are a better football team than what we showed the other night.
Charlie, two things. Are you sticking with Tyrone this week over Gerard? And number 2 is, I mean, can you personally afford to have a second season loss to a bad offense?
The first question with Tyrone and Gerard, we're going to go through this week, and then we're going to make that decision there later on at the end of the week. And you know, we end up wanting to play both of them the first half, which we did. And then in the second half, when we got it back to 17-3, then it goes to 24-3. We just felt like Tyrone would do a better job of trying to get us back in the game, but we threw the football, but just didn't protect it. And we can't go through another season with a bad offense. No, that cannot happen. We have some talented players there. I just noticed, you look at Jay Gray. He touched the ball 8 times the other night. He's a back that needs the ball. The ball needs to be fed to him anywhere from 15 to 20 to 25 times. But then you have Foreman sitting there. You have Warren. Our offense has to run through our running backs, and we have to run the football. And you look at us outside on the perimeter. You have Warren Bird is a guy who can stretch the field. You have Amani who can stretch the field. And then you have DJ when you want to run the speed switch with him and Marcus. So we have some athletes that are on offense that we just got to do a better job of just spreading the ball around and just making sure that the right guys get the touches, and we got to get the ball in their hands.
Hey, Coach, I gotta ask you about Sean Watson. You know, his offense hasn't really been able to get it done through TCU or Arkansas, and now here Notre Dame didn't have a quarterback throw for a touchdown in the spring game. I got to know what your confidence level is with Sean Watson at this point, and I mean, do you feel like he's meeting your expectations right now?
Well, that's why I said, Aaron, we have to evaluate, and it's good to come from that whole offensive staff, and I know Sean is the coordinator, but you know there's other guys involved, even myself involved, and we just got to evaluate this week and just see exactly where we are, and we have to change. We have to get better on offense. You're right. You go back, and I know last year is last year, but even to come out of this game with 3 points, you know, with the players that we have, we should be more productive.
Charlie, the fans can do it, the media can do it, everybody can overreact. Is it big things? Is it little things? How do you prevent overreaction and just fix the problems?
Well, you know what? They have a reason. Everyone has a reason to overreact because you expect more. This is an unbelievable program, and I expect more. And I can see the overreaction because I go back Sean, and we got off that bus in South Bend, and you should have. Our fan support and our crowd was unbelievable. I mean, it was like a home game. And so when we walked in the locker room, I said to our players, I said, if we can't go play for what we have here tonight, we'll never get up to go play all season long. I said, would our fans traveled as far as they traveled to watch this football team, to watch us go out, and then we go out and play the way we did. But everybody wants more, which they should, because we have enough, and we just got to be. We have to do better.
You say you need to run the ball more, so why did Jay Gray only see 8 touches in the game?
Well, we only had 52 snaps, and I think somewhere in the first half, I'm not exactly for sure, but I know we had for the whole game 8 3-and-outs. And you have to get first downs. So when you get first downs, then you can get more touches. Because Jay Gray had 8, I want to say Deontay had 3, and then Warren had 3. You only had 14 touches out of 29, and we only rushed the ball for 29 times. And I think 8 of those were with Tyrone because he was trying to scramble around. But we got to get the ball in his hands. That's very obvious because he's someone that when the ball's in his hand, he's electrifying, and he can make people miss, and he can get positive yards for us.
And you said you wanted to see yourself getting more involved in offense. How would that look?
Well, it's not so much I need to get more involved. I sit in on the meetings, but it's that I get involved with third down. When it's third and short or whatever, I say, hey, listen, I want to run here or pass here in the 2 minute. I say, good, let's go for it right before the half. It's 2 minutes to go, 2-0 something. I say, listen, get the ball down the field. We got to get a score and do what we have to do, throw, run, whatever we need to do. Let's get the ball down the field.
And Charlie, on that note, you'd said that you had been making some defensive calls, and you're not going to do that anymore. Vance is going to handle them all now. Is that correct?
No, I didn't say it. I said I do make some of the calls, but not many.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you're still going to be involved in doing that part of the defensive calls.
Well, it's you know what, Mike, it's got to be offense. Offense, just a whole. I'm the head coach, so I can make any call I want with the offense and defense and special teams. So I'm gonna do those things, and if I don't like a call, I'm gonna say no. Let's think about that before we do it. Because a lot of times those guys already have an idea what they like to call, but I can also say, listen, whoa, slow down. Let's think about this. Look where we are. But sometimes, it's the whole thinking process where it's one play's got to set up the next play. Sometimes if you run a ball, just say if you run a zone play to the right, quarterback comes out the back door, hey, what did that defensive end do? We have to know all those things, and we have to be totally involved in the game.
Charlie, the players were so sure that they'd made progress all off season. I'm curious, what was their attitude like yesterday, and how careful do you have to be with them just to make sure that they, stay engaged and don't get down so early in the year?
They won't get down because you look at it's the first game, and what you have here is just it's so many young players that a lot of them they came out there last night and sometimes you really have to tone them down to make sure that they understand, hey, guys, this isn't acceptable here, because sometimes they want to come back out and kid around like, hey, but this game it's still wearing on me, so I wanted to kind of wear on the players. But the players won't ever back away or back down.
Charlie, how critical are the next few weeks to your tenure and your part in this program as you guys move forward?
Bob, this is very critical. Our goal is to win the conference championship. That's what our goal is, and so we know this. You're coming in with Rice, and then it's Cal after that. But we have to go play well, and we have to be productive. But we need to go play well, and when we talk about just the alums, the fan base, everyone involved with this program. There's millions and millions of people involved with this program, and we got to give them hope, and they need to see progress. And after the other night, I feel, you look at that game and you're like, wow. I mean, we said we was going to be up-tempo. There's no up-tempo. We said we were going to do this. That didn't happen. But it's got to be hope and it's got to be progress. Yeah, you have all these young players, but still, though, you may have all these young players, but still, it's got to be something in it for us where we're looking to say, hey, maybe they are moving forward. Maybe we do see a change. Maybe we are getting better. And we didn't see those things.
And Charlie, you said minor corrections need to be made in a lot of departments. What did you see in the effort department? Because that's probably what's going to determine how things go.
I looked out there, and I thought they played hard, I thought they played hard, and it's just the mental mistakes that we made. And you look at it's just offensive line-wise, even those guys, they competed. You know, we turned some guys loose, but still we competed. And even on the defensive side, they played hard, but you can't give up the big plays. So the effort was there, and I told Vance that after we was watching the tape. After I watched the tape, when we got back, I said I can't question just our effort and how hard we played, but we just got to play smart, and we didn't play smart. And I said we have to execute, and we didn't execute. And if you get those things done, and then you put it all together, then it'll happen for you. And I didn't think, at first I thought the stage was going to be too big, and I didn't think it was too big. I thought that they jumped out there, even in the very beginning. And I told them, I said, if we win the toss, we're going to defer, and we deferred. But if we could have just moved the ball and got a first down, and then continue to get a first down, who knows what would have happened.
Charlie, I want to go back to what you said at the beginning. Were you saying that the quarterback position will be open this week for maybe Gerard to take that spot? And if that's the case, what do you think he can show you in a short week that that over the past year didn't get him the job yet?
Well, even though when it was open earlier, he competed, and it wasn't like there was a big separation between those two. And so now when you go into it, and like we're in situations where we go Tuesday and Wednesday where we actually compete at practice, where he's going to be placed in some situations where we had to compete and go move the football. But it just comes down to, guys making just the decision-making process for the quarterback. But we had to place them in that decision where they are able to make those decisions and give them a chance. I went into the game and I said that there's 5 things we have to do. We had to play great defense. We didn't get that done. I said, number 2, we have to run the football. We didn't run the football. We had to control the clock. We didn't control the clock. I said, we had to protect our quarterback, and we had to win on special teams. The special teams, without early where we had to settle the punter down, but it felt like in our special teams we were better, covered the kicks and everything better. But those things, 4 or 5 of those that we didn't get done.
Charlie, it was believed that your defensive line was probably going to be the strength of this team. Are you concerned that they were getting blocked all night, it looked like? And secondly, Ridgeway and Tank Jackson, how healthy are they? Are they really struggling through injuries right now?
Well, and not that I want to take anything away, but their offensive line was really good. It's probably going to be the best offensive line they're going to face all year. 78 is probably he's going to be a top 10 pick, top 5 pick. So they had a lot to handle there, and we knew that going into the game. And what they had done is they took one of the other players from last season and moved him to the center position, which posed a problem. And it wasn't so much they was getting knocked out, but if you look at an offensive lineman, the only thing he needs to do is cover up a D lineman. And so once he cover him up, if a guy can get past the point of attack at the line of scrimmage, then a back is going to be able to run the ball. But when you talk about the health, I think the Tank is still getting there because with the foot injury, he's still moving, not at the speed he need to move at. But I think as the season goes, he's going to get stronger. And then Ridgeway is more with him is just getting in shape.
Yo, Coach, you said earlier, just to clarify, you said you'd be reevaluating a lot of what's going on offense. Just for clarity, is that going to include possibly reassigning play calling duties to another coach on staff, or are you 100% committed to letting Coach Watson continue calling plays?
No, not so much of that. That's what we're talking about right now, and what we need to look at is just offensively, just exactly what we're doing. We're talking about running a football. Like, what is our game plan? How are we going to go run the football? Are these the runs, with our passing game? Are these the passing game? Or how are we going to protect the quarterback? Who's going to get the football, get the ball in the playmaker's hands? Because when you spread people out, it's all about playmakers, and it's about getting the ball in their hands and seeing if you can make a guy miss in the perimeter. You got the ball outside with DJ, and you get him one-on-one. Sometimes he's going to win. Those guys are good tacklers. They got him down on the ground. A couple of times we thought he was going to skirt away from him. And then you throw the long ball out there to Burt and probably need to put pressure on them and throw more long balls. I think we threw one to Burt. He caught, threw one down the sideline to Amani, which we overthrew. And then we had a couple more that we were going to throw, but just, we had a stutter and go called on one. The guy was actually beat. We just couldn't get it off.
Charlie, coming home and everybody hears and reads the noise, your kids see it all. How do you keep them from playing tight, knowing how important this game is after what happened Saturday?
It's just they got to go back out, Roger, and we have to do a better job as a coaching staff of getting them prepared and ready to go play. And, you know, what's key is once we get them back, say, hey, guys, just relax and just enjoy it. Every game, and I tell them, every game here is a big game. It's just the way it is. So, you know, each and every week you had to get up and get ready to go play the next one. And as poorly as we played at Notre Dame, let's put that one behind us. And it's hard to put it behind you because we just didn't play well, but let's go move on. Let's go get ready for the next one.
Charlie, now that you've had a chance to look at the film, can you tell us what you thought of Swoop's play? And when you met with the staff yesterday, was it an all-staff meeting? Was it individuals? And what was expressed from you in the tone, if you will?
Well, the second one, whenever I lose a game, it's not much. I don't say much to my staff because I don't want them to know how I feel right there. And I may say some things that I probably regret later. But, and, you know, it wasn't much to say. They know how I felt. They know how I felt after that game, and they know how I felt during the game. So it wasn't much I had to say to them. You know, when you look at Swoops, I thought that, you know, he battled when he tried to scramble. You know, he was diving. It just, you know, the protection was an issue when they turned him loose. And, you know, a few times he took off with the ball. But with all of us, I mean, with all those guys, we had to play better. We do. And that's what's key. He can get better.
Charlie, just curious, now that we've seen the offense, how much of it is actually different from last season in terms of scheme? And is it more just a case of tempo, or are there differences that maybe we aren't picking up on?
Well, Chuck, I was hoping I'd see a big difference myself, but it's when you talk about up tempo, it's about just moving the football but if you look at it, I think that maybe we may have had 2, 3 and outs where we was out there for 55 seconds, and so you had the defense back out there on the field. But you had to be productive, Chuck. You had to get first downs. And we didn't get first downs, and because what first downs are going to do, they're going to allow you to move the football. Then those first downs leads then the next time it's a big chunk play, then it's a touchdown, and we all want to see touchdowns, and that's what we're not producing, because you look at some offenses and they score so many points, and that's what we have the playmakers. Now let's go score.
Charlie, last year you squeezed every ounce you could have out of your offensive line. You know, one game in, how do you feel about this group, and kind of how do you approach building up their confidence again?
Well, I look at our offensive line, and I know we had 2 freshmen out there, in Vahi and Connor, but you still got Perk sitting there, you got Sid, you got Doyle, and then you got Hutch, who you can move in the mix, which we did. So you're playing about 6 to 8 guys. And they went against, you know, I look at Dave, who, you know, is sitting there at Notre Dame, and he's a really good player. And then, you know, the outside rusher is a good player. So, you know, we knew we was going to have our hands filled up with trying to just block those guys. But the key thing is where we can help our offensive line is with protection, you know, turn into protection and not get them one-on-one in different situations. Because a lot of times, like I said, you know, before this game, if I'm playing against a young offensive line, I'm going to blitz every time. And I'm going to make them block us, because I know that at one point they're going to turn somebody loose, because if you show them enough looks, they can't block them all. But if you turn to protection, then you got to run through it. And that's what they did to us a lot. You know, what they did was they max protected probably 60% of that game, where they kept everybody in. They threw outside, so they was going to try to win outside by max protecting. And that's why we got to help our guys.
Charlie, with that being said, and with an offensive line that's kind of struggling to protect like they were on Saturday, is there any merit to the idea that a running quarterback, a mobile quarterback like Gerard, could be a better fit?
Well, what a running quarterback does to you is he settles you down. So now you really can't just come with all the pressure, because what you get afraid of, if he breaks the contain, it's over with. And he can get down the field on you. And that's kind of what happened with us with Zaire on Saturday. You know, we're sitting there, we didn't rush a lot because, you know, they converted some big third down plays on us, because you go all of a sudden you go rush him, and then he breaks the contain from you, and then he's running. But you want a mobile quarterback can cause you problems.
Do you think that you have the experience and talent on this offensive line to stay committed to that run game that you guys want to stay with this year?
Oh, we have that. I mean, but when you talk about running the football, it's a matter of you just covering up people and knocking people off the ball. And if you look at it, and the touches that he had, Jay Gray, I mean, he had big runs. And so, but you got to mix up the run and pass, and you have to be balanced with it. Where it's always where. When you talk about the spread, where you have people running sideways, and then all of a sudden you attack them downhill. You run the speed sweep, boom. Then all of a sudden there comes a quarterback right behind you. Then next run, you hand it to the running back. But you can mix up the running game. So because you look at a lot of offensive line with people that run the spread, their offensive line is not great. You know, it's not like you putting your hand in the ground and you just coming off in this power football where they're trying to knock you back. No, it's a lot of window dressing going on. So you just got to be able to get the ball in the right guy's hand with the playmakers where all of a sudden you go speed sweep, you got the defense running sideways. Then all of a sudden you drop back, throw the ball, then they have to drop back. Then all of a sudden you come downhill, and now they're going to be ready to come downhill. Then next time you mix it up. It's all about the play calling. It's all about just mixing it up.
Charlie, we've seen how passionate Sean is about Tyrone, you know, when he's talked to us for a year plus now. And my question is, are you concerned that Sean's thoughts about Tyrone and his is maybe too clouded because he wants him to win so bad? Is he not really seeing what is really there?
Well, he can be clouded, but the thing about it, we have to win, and the best person's got to line up at that position, go win the football game too. And that's why when you end up playing two quarterbacks, you know, you get them out there, but at the end of the day, when the decision is going to be made, the best one's going to line up.
Coach, it seemed like at times during the Notre Dame game, Notre Dame was targeting certain quadrants of the defense. Have you given any thought to personnel to maybe get more athletes on the field so that you might be more protected against athletes kind of roaming free?
It wasn't so much where they was targeted, John. We know this. And the thing about it, with Notre Dame, with certain sets, we were going to get certain plays. So when they threw the deep one down the sideline, we was in cover two. We knew where the ball was going. I mean, hey, wherever 7 is, find 7. And our guys knew that. Just find number 7. You know, there's certain places that he lined up, and where he lines up, he's going to get the ball. And if he's outside, the ball is coming deep. You know, if he's inside, they're going to run a jet sweep to him, or they're going to throw the jailbreak. So we knew exactly where he was. Now it's all about the guys just locking in and being focused and just execute. I mean, Vance is yelling from the sideline, "Hey, right here he is, right here he is," and he's on our sideline. Hey, get a jam on him, Duke, and then boom, he releases. And you know, one player thought he saw tight end vertical, which he wasn't vertical. Then the ball is thrown to the outside. You know, the one play, the first touchdown they score where it comes across the middle. Oh, we had what we call red 2 call, and the only thing the backer has to do is drop to the middle of the field in red 2. But he saw a guy come underneath, so he took the bait, and the ball's thrown up over him. But like I said, they place in those situations. It's just execution.
Charlie, any update on Marcus Johnson's ankle? And also, did an injury contribute to Gerard not going back into the game in the second half?
No, Gerard got hit there early, and the second half, like I said, when it got to 24, we was trying to play catch up. But Marcus has an ankle injury. It's going to be day by day, and so we'll see where we are later on in this week with him.
So, Charlie, yesterday when you met, did you meet with the staff? Was anything said to Sean about, I want this, I want Jay Gray to get 15 to 20 carries? Any specifics that you said you want to see from the offense going forward?
No, yesterday I didn't say much. I will meet with our staff today. Like I said, it's hard for me after a game to meet with our guys on a Sunday because just the way I feel, and because there's be some things said that I probably regret later, and I don't want it to come out the wrong way. So I kind of just because it bothers me. It bothers me when we play the way we do. It bothers me when we're not productive, and it bothers me when we're not accountable as coaches. So it's hard for me to meet with guys. It's hard for me to talk. I don't talk to my own family, so I don't say nothing. I kind of just I got a lot to say, but I'm not going to say it now, Chip. But I have a lot to say, but. I don't talk, like I said, after a game, I don't talk to anyone. I just go and sit down, and they know not to talk to me, don't say nothing to me.
Charlie, I know you addressed not seeing the changes offensively that you had hoped to see. What would you say to recruits out there who were expecting to see something different than what was seen at the end of last year, and how imperative is it to get it turned around for recruiting purposes to get the kind of athletes you need in here on that side of the ball?
Well, recruiting, it's all about recruiting, and then they gonna have to see improvement. They have to see change too, and it's good that we got some, we got more games to go play, so they're gonna have that opportunity. But they are, and because I just talked to one recruit before we even played the game. He says, "Oh, coach, I can't wait to see that up-tempo offense and see what happens." And my man didn't see what he thought he was gonna see, I guess, huh? Sean, he didn't see that, huh?
Charlie, how frustrating is it that a week into the season you're kind of having to start all over, start from scratch, and is there still a sense of optimism there that things can get fixed?
Oh, things can always get fixed. It's about us just going back to work. You're just rolling up your sleeves and digging in. It can get fixed. We have the players to get it fixed. If you didn't have the players, you'd say, yeah, you have issues, but we can get it fixed. And when we talk about the restart is that you just thought that we just have more productivity. We would go in and, as good as Notre Dame was, I still look at that game and say that we didn't go compete at the level that we should have competed at. We did not. And then that's on me as a head football coach. That's my fault. And I told our assistant coaches that we're going to restart this thing. And so you guys are going to be productive. You're going to be accountable. We talk to our players all the time about being accountable. I said, as coaches, we have to be accountable. And we have to get it done.
Coach, you removed a coordinator back when you were at in Louisville in midseason. When you talk to your coaches, or so we understand the gravity of the situation, are jobs on the line here as far as your coaching staff goes right now?
Well, some of these coaches I've been with a long time, so they know how I am, and they know how I feel, and I'm not afraid to express how I feel. And they've heard it, and they've heard it from day one. So it's an evaluation process.
Coach, 3 really tough losses the last 3 times out. Is this uncharted water for you as a coach, and how do you stay confident if it is uncharted?
It's very uncharted because you're right. It's the last. You think about the last 3 showings that we've had, and it has been embarrassing. I told our staff it has been embarrassing the last 3 games that we played, and you have to continue to build confidence. And as a head football coach, they're still going to feed off of you. So it's how I approach it and how I go about it Monday. Like yesterday, I said I wasn't very good, but when we went out to practice with the players, I kind of around them, I kind of lighten up because I know I got to have them. And the thing is, you don't want to be down because then all of a sudden they're going to be down. They're going to be and a lot of them don't really understand. They understand, but they really don't understand. Like, hey, it's about going back to work, guys. And for a player, they can lose a game, and heck, it's a couple hours after the game, they fine. They don't went on about their business, and sometimes as a coach, it just lingers on you. But we still had to continue to build our confidence, and that's why it's good. You back home, you really play a really good team, and this team can move the football on us. But that's why we got to make sure that we approach it the right way, and as a coaching staff, we go get our guys ready to play. We have to get them ready.
Some of your freshmen seemed especially resilient following that loss. 5 of them got the start in the game. How would you describe how they competed on that stage and in their first game?
Well, you look at the 2 offensive linemen, and it's so hard because everyone looks at the number of sacks, but they did go out and compete. And the thing about Bahi, he's big. He's sink him down inside. He's a guy that can, if he locks on to you, he can move you. And then Connor, on the edge, he was battling a really good player all day long, held his ground. And then you look at, you look on offense, defense. Malik did an unbelievable job. I'd say the 2 guys on defense that played really well that night was Malik and Duke Thomas, and Malik had a bunch of plays. And then you look at John Burt, the catch that he made on the outside, and who's my other freshman, my true freshman starter? Boyd played on kicking game. Yeah, Boyd was unbelievable in the kicking game. And the thing about him is on the kickoff, I have, these 2 guys are going to be really great players here. I have Boyd and I have Hager. And the only thing their job is, they have one job, get to the ball. Don't worry about lanes. Don't worry about anything else. I just want to see you get to the football and the kickoff. You saw Boyd and Hager get down there, and Vaccaro comes from the backside. But those, I think we end up playing a lot. You play Boyd, Houghton Hill played a little, Devontae Davis played a little, PJ played some. But you have a very talented freshman group, so they'll just continue to get better, and a lot of them going to end up playing a lot of football.
All right.